Well, hey everyone, it's Kevin here. Today, I want to talk about speaker placement. Now, I know that this topic can be kind of controversial because us DJs, we love to have our setup looking mighty fine. We love symmetry. We love to be additive to the event. We definitely want to put a lot of time and effort into the equipment we buy, the look and feel of how we present ourselves. It's very important to us. So I'm here to talk to you today about why a perfect setup, a perfect looking setup, isn't always the most important factor at a wedding or an event. So let's dig into this. So first, what I want to do is show you guys a couple different setups, and I'm going to call them Group A and Group B. Okay, so let's go to the screen. All right, so here are some setups that I've done, and I'm going to call these Group A. Okay, so here is me basically with my DJ controller on a fast set table with a couple totems and with some lights, some JBL SRXs on the side. So this is me on a little stage. Here we go behind a facade with my two SRXs with my dance lights on top. Here's another setup, bottom left, where you can see basically black scrims, similar setup. I've got a gig bar here for a different kind of party. And then another example of a behind the scrim kind of COVID protection shield, if you will, look. So all of the, basically the designs or the aesthetic that I'm getting from these images in the A group are all essentially symmetric. They're meant to look really nice. You can see the wedding planner even gave me some greenery and some little lanterns here on this top left one. But they're designed almost to add to the room. Now, let's take a look at B. Okay, here are images in Group B. All right, so check this out. I've got a top left, here I'll hide A a little bit better. Top left, I've got speakers centered around a fireplace, and this is the sweetheart table in the front of the fireplace, and then the bridal tables on either side. And you can see way back in the corner, you can see my setup, okay? You can also see, here's another example that's very similar. This was in a barn. Top right, you can see my speakers on either side, centered around the bridal table, and then my setup in the corner. Let's look at this one here, this bottom left. Kind of similar, but this was a very long room, and I had a speaker here. You can kind of see it over in the corner. And then the bridal table, speaker here, okay? And then my setup kind of in the middle, right off of the table. Okay, and then finally this one, where not symmetric, but I've got some totems here with some lights. And also worth mentioning, the speakers are out of frame. They're actually in the ceiling. So this was, at this venue, I used the speaker system from the venue at this wedding. So guys, B versus A. I know a lot of us really like the A kind of thing because of, again, the symmetry, the additive nature of it. But in B, what I did here and what I had to do was think about the client, and I had to think about the experience of my guests. You see, with speaker placement here, I was able to fill each of these rooms to the maximum capability, especially rooms like this guy here on the bottom left. This barn was just more of a rectangular shape, and I could put everything in one little bunch. You know, I could do more like an A kind of setup where I've got my little, my little DJ section of the room. I could have did a corner, of course, like I've done here in this barn venue, or I could have did a corner like I did here in the top right in this venue, which overlooked the city of downtown Cincinnati. And I certainly could have did that, but I chose not to because a couple reasons. One is it just wouldn't give me the fill in the room, in the venue that I need for a great experience. And you think about it, what are we there for? Are we there to look pretty? You could say, yeah, that's a secondary objective, I guess, to look really nice and professional, okay? But I think primary objective is to sound great. Okay. And I think a lot of DJs lose that in their pursuit of building the perfect setup. I maybe like you guys, I love watching those DJ setup reviews that DJ Bar will do, or perhaps Joe Bunn through the DJ's Vault will do. I love watching those and seeing and getting ideas for new ways to configure my setup, and maybe have some versatile kind of components to the setup. But I gotta err always on the side of better sound is more important. It's when I have to choose, it's more important, and it will win out for my events with my clients. So what does that mean? Does that mean I never can have symmetry? I never can look good? Well, looking at Group A, that would be a no. I mean, these are all 2020 events that, images from 2020 events that were done. And I would say that you get a point for aesthetics here for sure. Now, these don't look bad in Group B. They don't look terrible or bad. They're just not symmetric, and they're not that typical, hey, I'm going to bias toward the appearance setup, okay? So, not to harp on the point, but I just wanted to, bring up the fact that our job is to create great sound. We want everybody to hear what we're playing when we're speaking, or when our guests are speaking, like with toasts or whatnot. And I think the images and the setups in B are very important for venues that are configured in a certain way, or if the room's configured in a certain way. The best of both worlds, of course, is more like A here, where I'm able to achieve great sound coverage, but also get that symmetric look and have that great performance view. That people, when they look at me, they see me and they see, oh wow, that DJ has a great setup and looks really nice. I will tell you that venues have told me, when I make decisions like this, for example, in the top left, where I've got everything spread out, or even in this venue on the bottom left, where I have things spread out and I'm covering the room and I'm biasing toward the audio experience versus the look, I get compliments from the venue, and I also get compliments from the couple, because I know venue sees hundreds of DJs coming through across the year. They're going to see lots of different setups, and what this venue in the top left, what they told me was, wow, we've never seen the DJ set up this way. Everybody goes right to the corner and sets up their setup in the corner. Well, this room is so large that just wouldn't do well unless you had a bunch of fill speakers all around. Also, the venue owner of the barn in the bottom left told me the same thing. Like, oh wow, we're excited to see that you were flexible and you kind of set things up so that the room could hear you really well. Essentially what a lot of DJs do is just, they will either go right between these two doors here and prevent the couple from putting their bridal table here, or they'll go at the other end that you can't see, it's out of frame of the photo, and they'll put their DJ get up there, and it's off the dance floor. People that have tables right in front of the speakers are blasted out, especially during open dancing later. So, any case. All right, everybody, that's it for today's video. I just wanted to emphasize my thoughts on what matters most. If you had to choose between sound and appearance, what matters to me, I think, most is the sound quality. Hopefully we can achieve both in most venues, but when you have to choose, go towards sound. We're DJs after all. Now, one thing I'll tell you is that I did a little poll with my past clients through my website, my business website, and I asked them what they thought about this topic, because I was curious as to, was this just me thinking that I had a bias towards sound? But no, I got an overwhelming response that from venues to photographers to other vendors, of course, and the clients that I asked, they all told me the same thing. Bias toward the sound. Go after the sound. If you got to choose one, we want to hear the sound. That's what people will remember, and that's what people want. So any case, guys, I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.